Can you hear? Oh my gosh, my mic is on. Yeah. Let's pour a little out for all our boats sitting in the garage. It's a sad day, sad day. Chat, would you like to join in on the live stream? We can get you in on like a Hangouts window, a little video chat going on. We can do some things. I can't believe it's real now that we can't boat, right? It was real before. It's not like I was going out. I wasn't going to travel, but now it's like, don't you even be thinking about that boat. What are we... Oh, hey, welcome to the YouTube channel with the crappiest video quality on earth. We're rolling in like a 480p. We have 16 webcams hooked up. Not one of them has an iris big enough to live in this dark house. So you get this kind of grainy effect on the screen. Love it. Love it. Chat, 10-pound walleye back there on the wall. I got a stack of tackle boxes out here we can go through. I've went through those crankbaits 20 times already. I don't think I could organize them any better. Do you guys think I should get a Spydro camera like the Airborne Angler? And I want to try to run some of that. I would like to try to run some of that this summer. I think it'd be good times. Do I have a fan on? I think it's the laptop. I think it's the laptop. Is it bad? Damn. What are we gonna do? I don't have any set topics in mind. This was me wanting to drink some beer and talk to some buds. I decided we'd just hit a couple of these. I'm so deep into the Captain Morgan, your video looks 4K, dude. That's awesome. That's what we got to be doing on quarantine. We just get on the internet and just drink together. Let's do that. That is a good time. Yeah, even I know the Airborne Angler was hit hard by this because he was still getting out there. He's still local yokel enough to just claim it's in his neighborhood. Man, it's some crazy times we're living in, people. We're gonna look back on this here video someday in 30 years, talk about those times when we had to stay in the house. Hopefully everybody's, healthy, not to overshadow the whole actual health emergency that's happening. I don't want to sit here and whine about fishing, right? But it does suck. So I just wanted to kind of reach out to the internet, have a little human interaction, I suppose, on a Friday night. We could pretend we're at the bar or something. I could put on some tunes. You can pretty much do whatever. I was trying to get this on the Facebook stream, but apparently the service I just paid some money for is not streaming it to Facebook like I thought it would. So we're rocking on YouTube only. Jet Diver 411. All right, that's a good topic. We got one topic on deck. We're going Jet Diver 411. Taking the boy fishing. Jet divers. Honestly, I don't have any jet divers in the house. I'm gonna smoke on stream tonight. I don't even care. So here's the deal with jet divers. Chad Glover, Smalls G in the chat. He'll give you a little what for on the old jet divers too. Couple things. They certainly catch a shitload of fish. But the deal is I bought regular Lure Jensen Jet 30s. And if you just try to run them like out of the box, when you want to check your lines or you get a small fish, it's even really hard to tell if you get like a 10 or 12 or 14 inch walleye on one and you're going like 2.5, 2.8, 3. So they make these little, and I made a video about it. You've seen it, I'm sure. with the little cable release that comes on them. Guys in Ohio sort of made that. They used to make another one where guys used to drill a hole, put an offshore release on, hook a wire, and it'll release like a dipsy diver when a fish hits it, right? Well, the whole attraction, the beginning of a jet diver is when you let it out in the spread and it goes back, it floats. So it's basically like out of the way of everything when you send it back. It's up on top and it goes. Well, as soon as you add one of these aftermarket releases to it, it sort of slowly sinks. And so like the attraction is gone for me there. That's a bummer. Number two, they make a bunch of tripsy divers. They make tripsy divers, which is a jet diver with a release arm on it, and Chad bought a bunch of those. Chad, Smalls G, probably still owns a bunch of tripsy divers. We haven't messed with them enough to say if they're better than the ones I run or not. But if they float and if they release reliably, I would probably recommend the tripsy divers. I think they came out with another brand that they have at Frank's. I can't think of the name of it though. There's like somebody else that made a tripping jet diver. So the first attraction of them in the beginning was that they floated and stay away from the spread. They still are more or less neutrally buoyant the way I run them. Certainly much more neutrally buoyant than a tadpole or a weight or a mini disc. Mini discs think like a rock as well because they got a chunk of lead on the bottom of them, right? So you go to make a turn with your boat, one side gets slow and you're over top of 4 foot, 5 foot tall weed stalks. Guess what happens to everything on that side if you have lead on it? It's all weeded up. Well, with the jet divers, what you can count on is either hanging sort of neutrally buoyant, or if you run just stock ones, tripsy divers, they float up. When you make that turn and those boards stall, you get no weeds, you turn around, you go on your merry way. Setting the releases is tricky on a tripsy, I can imagine it is. The ones I have are, I've named them in those videos, they're from Amish Outfitters. They're just, if you go to Amish Outfitters website, you'll see a jet diver release. And I love the way they release. They release like reliably. Anything hits them, they release. They're really nice. And then you don't fight the jet diver. So the big deal with the release is you don't want to fight that jet diver, even if you're checking your lines for weeds. You don't want to fight that jet diver. And you can't check the third one out because you can't bring it through the inside two ones. If it gets tripped by a weed, if it gets tripped by a fish, it's going to come over top of everything and on the way in the back of the boat. But that's about it. That's about them. They hold their depth. They're a very stable diver. Okay, so like that's their sort of number one deal. They're a very stable diver. When they go to their spot, they stay there, and they track. They do have a tiny bit of a wiggle. That could just be due to balance or whatever, or just hydrodynamics, I guess. We get the airborne angler to do the science on that one for us. I'm gonna check in for the latest report on that. So that's the deal with the jet diver. I like them better than like mini discs just because I fish over top of weeds, and if I turn those mini discs, they're gonna drop. But Geikus and Pinozic and all them guys, they all run jets, they all run mini discs. Excuse me. So like, who's to say one's better than one's not better than the other? That's the fact. It's just what you like to do, kind of with them. Yeah, and the whole jet diver at high speed thing is a point of sort of controversy around this house lately too. We do have some problems sometimes with jet divers coming to the top, and we're sitting there going, why won't that one run right? Why won't that one stay down? And to be honest, we're not even going 3.7. Sometimes it just happens at 3. So Jeff V, this stuff still works, bro. We're pouring one out for our boats tonight. All right. We'll go walk out to the Ranger in the morning, say hello. One of these days when it gets warm again, I keep swearing I'm going to wash it. But, no, it's just been a weird year with the whole not making videos thing. And a lot of the places I have been fishing were just tiny water. And, yeah, we're reconfiguring the circle of fishing friends, so to speak. So we're in the middle of a reconfiguration. Ricky's the only one that's sort of hanging around. Clear jet divers leaked and filled with water. You don't want that. You don't want, yeah, there's no, you're not going to be able to use a jet diver that fills with water. That's the truth. So, hey, a couple things. First of all, Lance Valentine, Walleye 101, every morning at 7 a.m. there's a bunch of fishermen sitting around drinking coffee throughout the whole quarantine situation. It's kind of fun. It's not fishing seminar wise. It's more or less just to keep everybody's sanity in the morning. So you should join in on that. Number 2, the Walleye 101 store and Lance in general. Good dude. Hooked me up this week with some hooks I needed. I ordered some other tackle. Support a small business and all that during these tough times. And number 3, these Gamakatsu storage boxes. Apparently I took them in the other room. The blue Gamakatsu storage boxes are really nice. They kind of got like a one-handed latch. And I'm using them all for my terminal tackle and for my hooks now. I'm not like rich enough to buy Gamakatsu storage boxes for all these things, but I do like them. They're a higher quality plastic with a better latch and a superior divider system. So, but they cost a little bit more. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm into the Gamakatsu storage boxes now. I've got a lot of new fishing stuff. I got a new Beckman net over here. I got all kinds of stuff coming in because all I've been doing is ordering fishing tackle for the pet. Yeah, Teach and Fishin'. Teach and Fishin' Facebook, please. Chad, drop a link. Drop a link in the chat. Another one for the boats, guys. To April 2020. The month of my 40th birthday. I don't know what to say about it. Just gonna have to try to keep our sanity somehow, so keep on keeping on, right, per se. Who took 11 friends? We got 11 friends tonight. I used to run some mini discs, but I have run some mini discs. I used to run mini harnesses behind mini discs, like on the east side of the bay. Those were weird times, as you can imagine. Caught some fish on them. Never really loved it. Wasn't for me, I don't think, overall. So this wall hanger back here came right off of Cedar Point, 2016. Caught in the Chad Glover Smalls G boat on the, I don't think there was a person in Ohio or Michigan who wasn't on Lake Erie that day. It's not even that big of a fish, but it was like the first 10-pounder, you got to put it on the wall type of thing. So that happened. That was a good. We were with Shannon that day, Chad, Shannon, and I. I can't tell you what lure was caught. I know it was Perfect 10, but I don't know what color of Perfect 10 it was at all. And that's another thing that needs help around here is my Perfect 10 box. I don't have enough Perfect 10s. I also don't run them that often, which is, I don't know why. It's just one of those things. I've got a huge box of crankbaits that I need to sell. They're just like unused crankbaits. I found, if anybody wants like shad wraps, I've got some shad wraps. If anybody wants jointed flicker shads in 5s and 7s, I probably have about 15 of those that I probably part with for like $2.50 a piece. Just because I'm not going to use them and they're just taking up space, not because I don't think they're good or anything. It's like Scotty's Tackle Shop over here every day as I sort through boxes and find things that I probably shouldn't be carrying out with me all the time. I'm really disappointed that this isn't simulcasting to Facebook. I was really hoping to make it big. Head-to-head walleye. We should talk about head-to-head walleye. It's taking the walleye world by storm. We weren't with Darren, Chad. We were with Shannon. We definitely were not with Darren. Right? Come back. Tell me we weren't with. I know the chat's lag, so I have no idea how, like, in relation to what y'all are seeing, and me talking, how it's coming through. But Shane Doyon, first responder, in the chat room. Everybody, big up. Have a drink for your first responder buddies. They're out there busting their balls while the rest of us are working from home. Yep. Oh, sell your lures to Darren. Yeah, Darren wants to. Yeah, Darren would probably buy the lures. He's the only one that talked to me 2 years about them, but he wanted like only the ones without hooks or whatever. I have cotton Cordels, CD9, CD7s, the full color line, stock colors, no hooks. Make me an offer if you're into cotton Cordels. I got some really old Storm stuff too, but I don't think I'm gonna get rid of that. I need to bring Chuck Mason on here, show him all the old Storm stuff, see what he says about it. Yeah, head to head. I think head to head took the whole walleye world just by storm over the past 3 weeks, because it's just purely better than anything that's on television for walleye fishing. I don't want to get too cranky on it, but I'm very, very opinionated about the crappy way that walleye fishing is presented on large network television. Anyway, I think it's poor. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So head-to-head fishing is like the most amazing thing. By the way, did you guys see that we have a local boy in head-to-head fishing next week, which has been moved from Marinette back to the Fox River for the third weekend in a row? So that'll be interesting. We'll have somebody to root for, I suppose. And yeah, it's just 5 hours of straight live fishing like we all do every time. It's like watching a YouTube video, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed by the way they're doing it. I wish I knew a little bit more about the technology that was going involved, even though I have a pretty good idea. I think you're basically going to sink your money into cameras and cell phone plans, I think, right? So yeah, I did a little fishing on the Flint. I did fishing on the Flint River March 15th, and a little bit on the 12th and 13th. I was kind of bouncing around the whole last week of the season. I was back and forth between Saginaw and way upstream and a little bit downtown. And I'm not. The Flint River for me is like this. If there's a giant pot of fish in front of me and I roll up to a spot, cast my jig out, I'm going to kill them. And if they're not, I'm just going to roll back, probably to Holloway, and keep catching fish. That's pretty much what happened this year. So I kept trying it, but I never hit them real good. Just caught a few small ones. The closer this year was kind of weird because it snuck up on you. It was like, oh, the fishing's going to get better, and the fishing's going to get better, and then it just kind of leveled off, and it stayed in a weird way. Then we had what went from like a really great weather, 8th, 9th, 10th, went to crap, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. The weather got worse sort of progressively, and that put a damper on the end of the season. Mother Nature had more to say about how walleye season ended than we did, I think. Yes, Clint, this is true. So head-to-head, live scoreboard, don't kill any fish, count everything over 2 pounds. I mean, you just can't beat it for excitement when you have a 1 pound match with 5 minutes to go and somebody says the hook. You win. You win the suspense game of the day. You can't do that in a highly edited, highly produced television show, So yeah, jig and minnows, man. I sorted that box out today. Right here. And I put quite a few jig and minnows in there. And yeah, I could definitely always use some more. So I'll take you up on that. This box is kind of neat. I guarantee when it's below 32 degrees, this thing cracks if you look at it wrong. So I'm probably not going to use it for an ice fishing box. I'll hold it right here. It's like a clam ad. Hey, Matt Johnson, hook me up. Um, it's a good box, so it holds them sevens really securely with the hook just basically right against the lid. So, look at this. You can't move them. So, 10 out of 10, impressed on day one without having taken in the outdoors or any elements. Yeah, I probably went past you, man. I perused that whole area. I literally would drive the entire river from Flint to Birch Run and back, probably every other day, if not once a day during the last week. Oh, awesome, dude. I will. That's cool, man. I appreciate it. The last of the jig and minnows that were oh so cheap, and I put them into the snaggiest places I could find them. So, yeah, I really appreciate that. We have found some Chinese, like I said last time. We found some Chinese stuff. That's actually Shane can tell you that Shane Doyon can tell you that the Chinese jig and wraps, Saginaw River fish don't seem to mind really. Caught quite a few on the last March 13th there. And we told everybody else around us that we got them for $1.99 on Amazon. People were like, "Really, man?" Yeah, we're that cheap. Mm-mm. Uh-oh. We're gonna have to go for another here, boys. Anybody seen anything good on YouTube lately? Any good walleye fishing videos? Wuhan minnows, yeah, man. Oh, dude. It's my fault. I ordered too much tackle from China. Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. What's it going to look like on the Detroit River tomorrow? Tell me that. Tell me what April 11th on the Detroit River in Michigan looks like in 2020. You think it's just going to be a desert? Just calm without a boat around? I don't. Yeah. Now, we didn't kill him either, EBJS. We did not. We did okay. Like I said, man, I fished the 7th through the 15th, and if I could have done it over again, I would have fished February 20th to March 7th, and I would have done much, much, much better. But in the end, we were fishing 5/8 ounce jigs with stingers and full plastic, full minnow, and it was kind of like, I'm catching 50% of the fish, the other 50% are kind of being snagged. And the weekend prior to the closer, when you could not move your boat upstream, forget about it. I wasn't even having fun. There was literally too many people, and I don't think I'd ever say that in the Saginaw River. On the Saginaw River, there's too many people, and I really think that it just felt like there was. It was just kind of, I don't know. It just wasn't fun, and the fish were small, for the most part anyway. So, yeah, you think it'll be 1,000 kayaks, just kayaks everywhere? I know a guy who has 2 fishing kayaks. I honestly thought about calling him tonight and be like, "Hey, what's going on, buddy?" But I don't know. John boat. I have a John boat, and I suppose that the trolling motor violates the order, right? So, oh yeah, Tom Boley. Dude, Tom Boley's everybody's hero right now. Dude's just crushing the YouTube game. He's crushing it. Not as hard as Airborne Angler, but dude's crushing the YouTube game. Pretty hard. That you can tell that guy's working his ass off. Straight up working his ass off for what he's doing. Yep. Highly recommend Tom Boley. Like seminars. He's gonna make me order a 6/8 St. Croix medium extra fast for the jig and wraps and stuff. Yeah, I was planning on having a big. I feel every day that I want to troll less, and my box of rip and wraps gets bigger, and my box of swim baits gets bigger. Coincidence, people? What's going on here? Somebody tell me. This is serious. Yeah. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? You gonna do a drive-by of the river tomorrow and just kind of look at it, or you don't have to like publicly admit it, but it's good. I mean, the Detroit River in April. There's not much more of an epic walleye destination than that, and there was still people posting on the internet today like, "Hey, me and my kid are driving from northern Indiana. Um, where should we fish tomorrow?" And people are like, "Buddy, I got a little news for you." So I don't know how you get the word out to that many people. I just can't imagine at Detroit. There's going like Detroit River April morning with no boats. There's going to be some boats, right? There's going to be some violators. I don't know, good, right or wrong, whatever. I just know personally. I'll just talk about what I'm doing personally. Like, I just quit. I just quit traveling to Bay City. I quit traveling to Port Huron. I'm just not gonna do it. People look at you weird and everything else. And the old Ranger's a little bit of a pain in the butt to launch by yourself, so I really wasn't going anyway. So this whole thing is just sort of, it is still really, it really makes it real, and it really kind of sucks. Kind of like a punch in the gut, but the reality was I wasn't going out fishing that much anyway, so. And now we know we're not doing that for the month of April. So anyway, on a lighter note, let's improve the mood here. 39 Hours. I watched a lot of everybody watched 39 Hours. It was a good show. I thought it was, I think this year's 39 Hours probably a little bit better than last year's 39 Hours. I think they were very good. I was just excited to see somebody catch a rudd. Like Paul and Taro catching some Great Lakes stuff. That was cool. On the other hand, Team America was Team America, so that happened. But yeah, it was a good series. Highly recommend it. I was trying to think of what are some other new happenings in the old fishing world. I organized all my waypoints. Do you want me to like put them up on the screen? Just list them. I could make that happen. I was thinking about how I would broadcast them with keeping anonymity. It was kind of funny. I found in the process of organizing all the waypoints that I had been behind on categorizing and dating and everything. So the only time we've been out on the bay this year, super bite. Me and Ricky caught some nice fish. No, we didn't take the video cameras, and I apologize for that, but we did really well. All the fish were bundled in a half a mile. It was just kind of, and again, it was a circus of a day because everybody was already out of work, but all the fish were in a half mile. So I think that was pretty. All our fish were in a half mile, I'll say that. And we drove and looked for more to catch. After those ones kind of got beat on, couldn't find them. It was an entire bay. We probably had 2 or 3 pods of fish that were kind of tightly packed within a half mile. It's just crazy sometimes how small big water can be, right? And we caught a lot of them on Cheap Sunglasses Bandit. Low-key goodness right there. Don't keep that between us 10 people. Cheap Sunglasses Bandit. Cheap Sunglasses has long history. Smalls G, who's no longer in the chat room. Cheap Sunglasses, free front of Rip Shads back in the day on Holloway. Yep, we tore them up on those a few times. Oh man, I have no idea what else to talk about, but I know that we're gonna talk about how this beer is empty and we're about to go get another one. Yeah, I got 2 Bandit generators, and I don't have any others. Should I keep them? Should I dump them? What's the opinion on Bandit generators, Jeff B? Go. Take the floor. We can play it. Oh. Like my camera's on 2 beers deep, too. That's crazy. Hey, EBJS. I need a name for you better than that, right? First of all, what do you throw on the Flint River? What's your deal? You like a twister tail guy, or are you like a split tail minnow kind of guy? Are you like super finesse? You want the eighth ouncers, or are you like a quarter ounce kind of guy? Because I had to go and buy a St. Croix 2 fish 1/8 ounce jigs worth. So I spent $130 or whatever it was for a rod that I'm gonna hopefully never have to use. But I had to have it because I was tired of fishing with these local yokels on the Flint River and getting my ass whooped on like a nightly basis on this super finesse bite that is way too finessey. Nobody should ever fish like that. I couldn't believe it. Had to go buy a Croy. Still not that good at it, but I'm getting there. So yeah, I'm curious to see like what the. There are people who fish the Flint River much better than I do. I'm like, if they're there and I can throw a paddle tail and crank it, we're good. But if you ask me to like finesse hop something in current, ugh, that's rough. You're doing two. Let me go get another one, man. Hold on. While we're too much technology. I need the airborne angler here, like a command center. Oh my god, look at that. Alternate camera angle, guys? Did I just do that? Hello. Hello. What do you know about two cameras? We're maxing out our bandwidth here. Comcast called. They were like, can you slow it down a little bit with your 480p video? You're breaking the neighborhood. Guys, emergency. Can we... Let's look at Ricky for a minute. Look at Ricky's beautiful face. I promise you I do know how to use technology, but in practice, not so great. It's a Miller latte. Oh, donating. Hey, my dad's here. Alright, so here's the thing about Sanford and Wixom, Clint. I'll tell you something about those. I don't know a ton about them. I fished them enough to know a little bit. The Flint River impoundments are a super lot like the Tittabawassee River impoundments. So I would approach them. The same way because I have two of them 2 seconds down the street from my house. And when I went to Sanford, I looked around and I was like, oh, looks just like one of my lakes down the street. Oh, yeah, it was a cough, but not from the vid. You know what I'm saying? Not from the vid. So, first of all, Clint, I would know going into it, just like you do, that it's a river impoundment lake. So you're gonna have some general sense of here's a channel, and here's a channel through the lake. Here's the flats, right? You're gonna have flats, and you might have like secondary, right, feeder creeks and stuff like that come in. I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna go to the flats right away. I'm gonna find that middle depth. So if the deepest is 30 and the top ledge is 5, I'm gonna find 12 to 15. There's not a lot of weeds in those lakes. There's more weeds in Sanford and Wixom than there are down here on our reservoirs. Like, water's a little clearer up there. But I'm gonna say I would look for the edge of the weeds and the flats, and I would just rip flicker shads. If that did not work, I would do that same depth with a slow depth rig. And if you're still not catching catfish in the lake, you're completely in the wrong end of the lake, and I would go somewhere else. Because I know those lakes, they have all kinds of perch and catfish and etc., etc. Brian, slow down on them beers. This is only the second one and the only last one I have, so I'm not going to the store for more. We're enjoying our Friday night. So, a stained water reservoir type of thing. and you would probably assume that they eat gizzard shad, because gizzard shad are life on both the Tittabawassee and the Flint River system. Gizzard shad is basically what feeds the entire food chain. So I would fish shad baits. That's it. But I would look for flats. Bottom line is I would look for large areas that were the same depth adjacent to the channel, and I would troll there first. And beyond that, I would just skip around. I'd go north end, south end, maybe top end, middle end, bottom ends, put it that way. Because they have a progression, right? Every reservoir has a progression as the year goes on, from top to bottom. In September, you're at the bottom. In May, you're at the top. So knowing where you're at, you just kind of work your way down. Maybe work your way up. Stay in front of the fish, right? Don't try to work from behind the fish. Come from the bottom up, you'll meet the fish instead of fishing from the top and try to chase them down from behind. Because those fish are going to sort of move their way down the reservoirs as they go along. So if you don't know where you're at in the process, maybe start mid to bottom end and work your way up. That's what I would do. Does that make any sense at all? I don't know. That's like purely like bullshit fisherman talk, right? It's all good until you get on the water and the plan like completely obliterates right in front of your eyes. And you're left standing there holding the pole going, I don't even think I know where a fish is. Side imaging is very important. Here's why side imaging is important. On river systems in particular. Sorry, let me read the question correctly. Yeah, I do. It's very easy to drive down the river when there's big groups of fish and see them. It's very easy to drive for a quarter mile and not see anything, and then all of a sudden see stuff. It's just that simple. Why would you want to, sort of start out in dead water? Granted, they're going to be catfish a lot of the time, but you can do. You can definitely look for stuff. You can look for structure. You can look for rock piles. Rock piles are a gold mine, right? Especially in the middle of a wide open river where it's something different than for miles around. So yeah, you can find rock piles, sunken cars. Sunken cars are always good. There's probably a few of those in Detroit and Saginaw. You can see very, very clearly dredged channel edges because they throw giant shadows. And those things are probably the most interesting to see, like where the dredge cup went down and cut a path. And you can easily see fish up on top. You can easily see fish up on bottom. That type of thing. I guess to back up to the reservoir thing, if you got weeds, that's got to be one of your top priorities, to go check weeds too. My lakes down here don't have any weeds at all, like none. I know there are some more weeds. I've bluegill fished up there. I know there's some weeds, but I wouldn't give the weeds, my full attention. I would still look at the mid-depth stuff. So, yeah, side imaging on rivers side imaging anywhere is a big deal, really. So it's river, lake, reservoir, it doesn't matter. Do I use it every single day? I use it a little bit every single day. Do I use it a lot every day? No, I don't. You can see them welling up on 2D sonar as well. So, because Saginaw River is not very wide. It is tough to see them deep rivers when they are holding tight to bottom on the side imaging. I haven't had a lot of good instances where I can say I got a really good picture of fishing 40 feet of water in the St. Clair River, but I also haven't put enough time into it, I will say. You got to spend some time idling, that's for sure. You're going to have to spend some time idling for it all to make sense to you. And one day the light bulb's just gonna go on. It's oh, that was fish. You know, like I need to pay attention to that and come back around to that. So yeah, I don't know how long we've been at it. It seems like a while. Not 2 beers long, so probably not long enough, eh? Might go for a walk in the backyard soon. Yeah. Hey man, if you're talking about getting into side imaging, why don't you just skip that whole step? If you're coming into the game now, you're going Panoptics, bud. I hate to tell you. Just skip this, because, alright, I tell you what, I'll sell you my side imaging right now. Because we're about to hook up a Panoptics pole and start, you know, like, I just feel like my fishing's changing. I think everybody does this, right? Everybody changes over time. Some guys are really consistent. Like, I'm gonna go Detroit River, Lake Erie. I'm gonna fish my tournament here, here, here. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. But like, that's not for me. Everybody knows that's not my deal. Like, I'm gonna try something different. If they're biting on X, Y, and Z, that's cool. But I want to go find the other 3 ways to catch them for some reason. I don't know why. This is just the way I am. That's why. Oh, excuse me. That's why the Rip and Wrap box keeps growing. That's why the Jig and Wrap box keeps growing. That's why the weird things like drop shots. God, I'm ashamed to even admit it, but like I'm more like I want to be a spot fisherman more. I guess that's just a thing, personal thing. And then there's the times when you're just like, I'm gonna put out 8 rods and try to fill this cooler as fast as I can. So different times for different things. Like on my local lake, I'm more about unlocking tiny spots on spots than I am trolling around and going, yeah, there's some walleyes in that 4 acres over there, and I can drag flicker shads through them and catch as many as I have time for. But Panoptics is. I've been looking at it the last few days. We're doing the calculations here. I've got my accountant working on it. What can we sell? How much is that worth? What is a Panoptics live scope? Or what's the other one? Yeah, live scope. How much does live scope cost? Am I going to be able to utilize it if I pay for it? And believe me, I don't need it. I don't think anybody needs it. You can go fishing with a bobber and a piece of line, right? It's just a curiosity thing, right? I just want to. How cool would it be to go? There's 3 fish. Let me throw a swim bait across them and crank it back real slow, and I just caught a walleye. That's probably a pretty life-changing experience right there. That's the way I feel about it anyway. I wish I could get a duration on the stream. Oh, an hour and a half? Nice. Just cranking out the clout tonight, boys. Not as cloudy as Airborne Angler, but we're going to work on it. Yeah, exactly. GoFundMe, Patreon, that type of thing. Yeah, but I got to make some more videos before we can start talking about stuff like that. We got to maybe not have the 320p resolution webcam cast professional stuff going on here. I'm taking it to the next level. I'm working on it. I'm working on it 1 beer at a time. So the internet literally exploded tonight when the governor did her thing and stopped us from using motorboats. And I swear, I've never seen my Facebook feed so lit. Michigan Sportsman was so lit with just people who were very, very, very sad. And I just don't think they had a good way to express it other than just pure anger. So that was an experience, I guess. If you were on the internet this evening, nah, bud. There's much more better causes than I want. Hey, as nice as that is and all, and I want Panoptics. Donate your money to fight disease or something, right? I joke with you. I know what you mean. Yeah, I want it. I want it, man. Do I have to start selling flicker shads maybe to make my Panoptics money? I'm certainly not gonna go out and win that money in any walleye tournament, that's for sure. I'd like to try, but if you watch head-to-head fishing, you've seen what people do with Panoptics for in a river walleye situation. The stuff that keeps me up at night is how can I use that around here? That's what keeps me up at night. What's the next way to catch a walleye? Not the other 10 ways we already know. And that's why I'm just weird, right? Because I'm always not enough baits. I need another technique and another rod and another rod. That's what it really comes down to in the end is another rod and another rod and another rod. You can have buckets full of lures. The minute you hook it up to the wrong rod, focus, there you go. The minute you hook it up to the wrong rod, it feels like garbage in your hand. So the evolution of an angler again there is that all of a sudden, oh, I want a bucket full of $200 rods. Because I've been telling all my friends this for a while, at least with vertical jigging rods. You don't go to the local Walmart and pick up a vertical jigging rod. You order yourself something high modulus graphite, right? And it just turns out, as it turns out, you need that for a jigging wrap, you need that for a ripping wrap, and so on and swim bait and everything else. And then it becomes less about like walleye fishing. Let's just give me eight trolling rods and I can go drag them around and catch a bunch of walleye, right? And I feel like it's like progressing more towards a bass fishing thing, right? MLF, Bass Pro Tour, all that stuff. And now you got these head-to-head guys using one rod, artificial only. It's very, very bass fishy, for lack of a better way to explain it. But yeah. I don't know. I might check out here. We're working on this one. Unless anybody has, like, just really wants to chat. Now, I do have, like, I'm working on a way to, like, bring other folks on to the show. Lol. To sort of be interactive. Maybe get some, I just like to get some of my buds, at least during this time, I think it'd be cool to get some of your friends on and just tell fishing stories or something. Banter back and forth. YouTube channels I've been watching a lot of lately would be the Hunting Public, most likely. Turkey hunting's happening. Besides head-to-head, and Angler X. Look up, I'm going to give this shout out. I don't have put a link in the description on the whole live stream thing, but look up Angler X. This guy fishes the Mississippi River around La Crosse, I think. And he's always pounding fish. He's pounding walleyes, bass, perch. And he just sort of does it in a quick, sort of non fancy way. Just here's me, here's the fish, here's what I'm using. Put a little music with it. It's a good time. Besides him, who else have I been watching a lot of in the fishing world? I'm going to give a few shout outs. We already shouted out Lance Valentine Walleye 101, Teaching Fishing Facebook page. Check that out. No affiliation, just good dude. Tom Boley, we shouted out Tom Boley. Who was the one I just talked about? D Yang Bass. You should check out D Yang Bass. Kid's out there grinding the Rock River from shore, catching all the walleyes he can before the quarantine happened. And Angler X. So check those YouTube channels out there. Those guys are still making fishing videos, so, and they are grinding. Angler X grinds at the YouTube game. Justin Clark, JC Drop Shot. There's another one for you, Lake St. Clair kind of guys. I think he's always putting out content, though, really, in general. He started like a podcast thing or something, so hats off to him. Airborne Angler. I can't even forget he stopped into the stream. Check out the Airborne Angler. This dude's got this Spydro cam hooked onto his line. It's next level. It's next level stuff. He's on a whole different plane. And Charlie Barron's, because you have to watch a bunch of Midwest comedy when you're stuck in the house a lot. So, yeah. Well, hey, we need to get you on the Dad. We'll get you on the web screen here, so like we can see each other. Maybe. How crazy of an idea would that be? I'm just waiting for him to chat back. This is probably a real awkward dead space, right? All right, I'm gonna end this. Slam the rest of this beer. Head off to another crazy dream-filled night, because apparently everybody's having crazy dreams during the pandemic. I read that today. Dude, I've been to the Boundary Waters, as a matter of fact. When I was 18. When I was 18, I did a Boundary Waters canoe trip. Couldn't tell you what lakes we went on. I remember seeing smallmouth so big that they would attack a canoe. That's my Boundary Water story. I didn't even really know how to fish back then. I pissed off a smallmouth that was so big, he charged the canoe. Scott Hoover is what the air. Nah, well, yeah. I mean, I'll take the OG thing. Consistency, let's say, is not my ball game. Whereas it does appear to be yours. But yeah, hey, we gotta get me a Spydro. I gotta get me a little discount on a Spydro. At $239 is feeling hard to swallow right now, considering I just bought a net and $50 in ripping wraps. And I'm pretty much ordering a St. Croix rod a week at this point. So yeah, I want a Spydro, man. I wanna try out the Spydro. So hey, Martin, I appreciate you stopping by and having a few drinks with us tonight. I can't even believe you're still here, honestly. So shout out Airborne Angler. Go check his stuff out. Maybe mention him when you go into Frank's Great Outdoors. I don't know if you get like a free hat or something. Probably. They keep it real. Go out and do some shore fishing, I suppose, if that's what you have to do to keep your sanity. It's probably what I'm gonna have to do, because I need to make a cast a week at least, or the world doesn't seem like such a good place to me. So stay safe, stay indoors, wear your gloves, wear your masks, take your sanitizer. I don't know. I'm completely not the right person to be giving you health information. So hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll chat with you guys. We're gonna try to make this like a once a week thing or something. So holler at your boy. Pour out a little bit for your boat while she's real dry in the garage. Clint, Airborne, Michael, Brian, my dad, everybody who stopped by. The internet's an amazing thing. Together we can beat this, guys. Beat the vid. 2020. I'm out.